Hi, Derek Whittaker from Blue Sky Factory. A topic that's got a lot of entrepreneurs scratching their heads is how to market yourself online, how to conquer that digital space. You've got two camps. You've got those who are doing it and haven't been able to work out the algorithms because the social media giants keep changing them and need to tweak them all the time, and just really how do we get traction with this sort of thing. And then you've got the other camp that go, well, I've been in business for decades. Why do I need to be on social media now to start marketing myself? And it's those two sort of situations that go, well, if you're not, you're missing out on potential business. You may be a dinosaur in the next few years. We brought in a specialist on this topic, and it's Jenny Lam. Now, Jenny's quite interested in the fact that she's got two passions in life. The first is business, and the second, well, I'll tell you about that in a moment. Let's talk about business for a moment. She runs a marketing company which specialises in digital marketing. So she's dealing with big corporations who know that that space is so valuable for the corporation. And she teaches them how to do that and has her team to manage that. Now, when we first approached Jenny about presenting at our business breakfast, which we do in the community, she had to get back to us on that. In fact, for several months we had to put it off because she was pursuing her second passion in life, which is cooking. She at that time was on Channel 10 Australia's MasterChef 2018, representing Perth as a contestant in that space. And of course, meeting with all those judges, that sort of stuff, and cooking up all these special things live on television and then being judged for that. Now, we had to wait. But the beautiful thing, a part of that, was that not only had she the runs on the board in terms of marketing herself online in the digital space, but also in traditional media by that point. So she's got a very unique insight when it comes to marketing. Enjoy this presentation with us, How to Market Yourself Online, with Jenny Lam presenting.
Although the topic is how to market yourself online, I think all of us are here for different reasons. Some of us are already running a business and want to keep up to date with Instagram, Facebook. Maybe some of you guys don't even have a Facebook or Instagram. So I know we've got a Q&A session after this, but by all means, guys, if I'm going too fast for you, if it's not relevant, just pop up your hand and go, how about this? Can you answer this for me? I have no issues, diverging and going on a different path if it means that everyone in this room gets value. Okay, and hey, first in, first serve. So who would like to actually share your desired outcome for today's session? Yes, thank you. Yep, it's Jason, isn't it? Yep. Go, Jason.
So I'm here because I want to have a more passionate entrepreneurial mindset.
Great.
And I just want to put myself in a space where there's like-minded people.
Great, awesome. And I was eavesdropping on this table as I was sitting over there with Ian, and I heard some business and finance, and I'm starting to think about what should I do with all my funds as well. I should really start investing in super and things like that. So, and property, and I might afterwards join this table as well and have some questions. But yeah, someone was talking about sales. I think it was you, Michael. I've been in sales for 10 years and I started working on commission only. So definitely maybe afterwards we can have a conversation about it for sure. All right, thanks for sharing, Jason. Who else? Anybody else?
I think the power of marketing online, because 85% of all sales are actually happening on our
devices. Yeah.
And if we're not present there to actually learn, know and understand that better, would be a great space to do. So
fantastic.
Why I'm here.
Great. Okay, good. And things like that, guys, because let's kind of get a feel for the room. Who has a Facebook page? Okay, who's on there every day? Viewing? Yeah, who's posting on there every day? Okay, all right, cool. Instagram, who has Instagram? Okay, all right. Who posts on Instagram every day? Okay, all right, cool. All right, just to get a bit of a feel for the room. But yeah, by all means, if by the end of the talk, if you still haven't got what you needed, it might be because I don't want to go too far into email funneling, boosting ads, but you can definitely come and have a one-on-one conversation with me afterwards, okay? Can we get the handouts handed out, Kalusha? We'll get into it. All right, guys, for me, the best way that I learn is actually through kinesthetic and actually doing things. So today, hopefully everyone has their mobile phone, okay? We're going to actually workshop this as well. So we're not just going to do a lecture, okay? I would love for everyone to actually get on their devices and I'll show you live some of the things that I'm talking about, okay? Any other desired outcomes whilst the paperwork's coming around? Or you just come to learn the generic stuff? No? All good? All good? All right, cool.
Can I just ask, how many different social media platforms are there? Like one that we've been using is LinkedIn for the business stuff, but is there a pecking order or a relevance order or anything like that?
Great question. There's many different social media platforms. It depends on the purpose and your target audience and who you're looking for. LinkedIn is great to actually find other business professionals. So for example, if I'm headhunting, if I'm looking for new staff members, I go on LinkedIn. Yeah, I don't really use Facebook for that because it's every age group. You know, on Facebook I've got there's actually more there's billions of people on there. You know, whereas on LinkedIn it's almost like resumes. You know, so it's quite easy to then find out more about someone's professional information on there. LinkedIn's great for that. Also great for getting your professional profile out there. So, you know, I had to disable mine unfortunately for MasterChef. But when it was up, so what I would do is that you can add a lot of information on there. So I would actually curate on there articles that I'm inspired by, my working mantras, for example. You can even upload podcasts that you do. So it's a great way to sell yourself as well if you're looking for other people to find you or for you to find others. Yeah, because it shows you all the different connections. So you can see, like if you were looking for something in someone in accounting, you could easily type that in, and it give you all the accountants in Perth, for example, and then you can choose.
Yeah, then you just ferret through whatever's presented.
Yeah.
To see what's suitable for what you're looking for.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I use LinkedIn for anyway. Yeah. Other than that, probably not for a consumer market, but definitely on a professional level. Yeah, great. Yeah. All right, everyone got a handout, guys? Can I have one as well? I think I had one in my bag. Is there one more, Kalisha? Alrighty. Okay, guys, thank you. I made this last night on Canva. What do you reckon? I decided to go with this instead of a PowerPoint. Okay, so let's start at the very top there. You can see underneath my name, guys, globally, who would like to finish the sentence? I reckon one of the Steves. Come on, Steves. Someone at the back table, go for it.
The average adult spends a total of 4.5 hours a day on their phone.
All right, who agrees? Who reckons they fall into that statistic?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, and I wanted to open up with this, guys. I don't know about you, but for me, if I didn't understand why I should do something, I never did it. Okay, and I find out, like I meet a lot of people who are business owners and have been for 20, 25 years, and they go, my shop's already busy. You know, I don't need to get online. You know, and you're gonna, like, I don't know about you, but I go, I don't watch TV anymore, free to air, because I have Netflix. Who has Netflix? All right, cool. So if you advertise on free to air, the chances of getting me to see your ad is about less than 1%. Like I found out about the Prime Minister changing because I overheard it in a coffee store, not because I saw it on TV, you know, and I had to then go Google it. And you got to think about, like, news broadcasters are now online. You know, the newspaper is now online. That says something, right? Spotify, who has Spotify? Cool. I don't listen to radio anymore. When I jump into the car, my Bluetooth kicks in and it goes straight into my Spotify. Yeah, so, and this is, guys, this is taking globally the average, right, from everyone from 18 through to 55. So you can imagine this, right? 18-year-olds to 24, in that bracket, they spend 7.5 hours on their phone. Right, and I was chatting to a lady and she was talking to me about, oh, you know, I don't need to get online, I don't need to be on social media. My clientele, she runs a retail store, retail boutique out in Subiaco. My clientele aren't on Instagram. I said, I hate to say this to you. I go, but in about 10 years from now, your clientele, right, those people won't be buying your clothes. Right? They're now in a different age group. The people that now become your clientele are only on Instagram. So it's about forward thinking, guys. It's about understanding that at some point, if you plan on being in business for the next 10, 20, 30 years, maybe handing that business down to your children, if you're not there, you're eventually not going to get us. We already know this. I'm not anywhere else. I'm only online. So especially if you're in the retail industry, or even if you have a service like accounting, right, at some point, that generation needs an accountant. But if you're not there ready for them, you're going to become a Kodak or a Nokia. You just go out of business. Yeah. So that's the first thing. So if you were kind of skeptical, okay, about social media coming in here or fighting it, understand that it's moving that way without your control. Yeah. I'm sure everyone was against tap and pay when it first came out. Now it's the most convenient thing ever, but you have no choice. Like in a few years from now, guys, there won't be cash because it's economically not viable. It costs the government so much money to print this money. Why would they do it when they can just do it online? We will hate it at first, but that's what will happen. And eventually, to be honest, like department stores are closing down left, right and centre. Like, have you guys been to the city lately and seen all the full lease spaces? Yeah, like Christmas alone, Australia spends about $2 billion online over those few days. You know, you look at how many things that you can buy, like Woolworths is now online. So, and you got to think about, that was 3 years ago that wasn't there. You know, like it wasn't that long ago that we had to physically go in. These days you can buy everything at your fingertips. Yeah. So let's start with the first point. Okay. So the first point, guys, to how to market yourself online is get started. Get started. Okay. I have this phrase in business that I call it analyzing to paralyze. Okay.
Paralysis.
Yeah. I literally see some people go, yeah, I really should do that. I think about doing that. And then I catch up with them 6 months later and, yeah, I'm still thinking. I'm still thinking. Okay, well, thinking doesn't actually end up into anything. Yeah, the definition of insanity is, who knows it?
Repeating the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting change. And for us in business, it's probably revenue. You know, you expect your revenue to go up, you know, for there to be more consumers coming through, but you're not investing. You know, if you don't, what you put in is what you get out. It's simple mathematics. If you don't put it in, how do you expect to get something? So if you're not online yet, guys, just start. It's going to be awkward. You won't know what to call your username, okay? You're going to hate filling out your address 4 times, all that kind of jazz. But it's important because if you don't exist online, you don't exist. Yeah, these days, if I look at a restaurant and they haven't posted something in 3 months, well, you guys tell me. If you visited a Facebook page for a business and the last post they made on Facebook was last year, what do you start thinking?
Are they still there?
Are they still there? Yeah. And you know what? Even if they are still there, do you want to go there? Isn't that odd? Because how you do things one way is generally how you do everything else. So for me, the world right now, guys, is all about instantaneous, instant gratification. I want it now, and I want it as quick and easy as possible, right? If I have to look you up, then click a link, then call you, I'm already disinterested, because there's so many options out there. You know, these days on Facebook, if you've got a business page, if you're active on there, Facebook actually gives you that little chat box. Ask me a question now. Like I buy furniture online. Like I moved into my new house last year, right? And I literally bought my dining table chairs, my everything in Karratha. And it came from all different parts of the world. And so I had all this beautiful furniture be there at my front doorstep when I got back. That's the world right now, you know? So get started, build yourself a profile, and get inspired. This is the other, I find that the main reason why people don't start getting their business online is because they don't know who they want to be online. You know, they don't know, you know, how to present themselves in that space. And my first tip for that, guys, is do a bit of stalking. Okay, who's done some Facebook stalking before? Instagram stalking? Don't lie. We know you there. Okay. Make sure that, go find some inspiration. If you're in accounting, you know, type in literally all of your competition and go research them on Facebook, Instagram, and one of them you'll like. You know, one of them you'll be inspired by, and use that as a starting point. You know, when your rivals become your idols become your rivals, you're heading towards the right direction. And that's how I got started. You know, I was chatting to some of my team members, and I said, who are some great female entrepreneurs in every industry? You know, and there's a lady called Emily Sky Fitness. Have you guys heard of her? Yeah, she's got millions of followers. Yeah, and I just decided to have a look to see what all these women entrepreneurs were doing with their business. Although they're from different industries, she's in the fitness industry. It was, you know, I loved how the positive vibes that her page was giving off, both her Instagram, her Facebook. So I thought, well, if it's working for her, I'm sure it'll work for me. And I got inspired by that. And however, the types of posts she was doing, the types of hashtags, you know, I would just follow suit. Because you got to start somewhere, and that's how you do it, right? You follow the trend until you feel comfortable with what it is that your own identity, and then you can start formulating your own. Yeah, but make sure that we get started there, guys. All right. First question there. Let's go to Michael. Do you want to? Oh, you don't have your sheet there. Let's go over this table. Does someone want to read out the first question, guys? Go for it.
What do you want people to know about you and your brand?
Cool. Yeah. What do you want people to know about you and your brand? okay? And stay true to you. The first most important thing is that I think sometimes people feel ashamed, or they start feeling that maybe me or my business isn't good enough to be presented online. No such thing, yeah? There is a market for everything and a market for everybody. Some people like working with people who are more introverted. Some people like working with companies that are a bit more quiet and not so loud and not so in your face. Some people like something more bubbly, okay? So your brand, guys, just needs to be authentic. Don't be afraid of it, and just make sure that, because I think some people think that you have to have a different persona online. It's not about that. It's just actually showing people who you really are. And people see straight through it if they can tell it's not really you. And here's the thing, even if you manage to captivate someone online, which then got them to your front doorstep, when they meet you and it's not the same voice, you lose trust straight away. Okay, so make sure, guys, that you stay true to yourself, and that your branding should always represent who you are and sound like you as well. Okay, so if you are going to get other staff members to post on your behalf, for example, on Facebook, you need to inspect what you expect. You need to check in that everything follows a rhythm and that it makes sense. Otherwise, and I've seen this before, because some people outsource their social media. You know, they give it to some company in the Philippines, and you go, so you're an Aussie surf company and you're using words like, hello sir, do you need a surfboard? Like, it just doesn't go, and you see straight through that business. Yeah, so yeah, stay true to yourself, guys, and that comes down to imagery. You know, what photos are you choosing to show? What parts of the workshop are you posting online? You know, do you guys have company profiles that are true? You know, do you have pictures of yourself online? People love that stuff because it's all about trust. It's all about, you know, when I look at a business, do I want to go there? You know, so if you're shy behind the lens, guys, you're really going to miss out. Yeah, so get out of your comfort zone, and sometimes if you don't want to be the face of your company, just choose someone else that's in your business that you can use that for. Yeah. Next thing, what's your desired outcome? You need to know, you need to start with the end in mind at the beginning. Okay, like I'll tell you mine. So my Instagram is currently at 5,500, right? Which I'm really proud about, because when I first started when did I start? About April? No, later than that, probably about May. In about May, I was like on 200, you know. And my goal by the end of this year is to get to 10,000. So feel free to help me out, guys, okay? There's probably about 20 people in this room. My goal is to get to 10,000. But for me, the reason for the following is I'm releasing my cookbook next year. Yeah, March next year. And it's simple mathematics, right? I go, if I have 10,000 followers, right, 10%. If I get 10% to buy a book, right, that's 1,000 people, 1,000 copies. If I multiply that now and I get into Southeast Asia, I get into Malaysia, I get into Singapore, Vietnam has 80 million people. I just need 1% to buy a book, and my house is built. You know, so I always look at what's my goal there. You know, I want to make sure that my followers can get to see what my normal life is like. You know, for me, I'm an entrepreneur over a public figure. You know, some people write I'm a public figure, you know, or I'm a celebrity chef or whatever it may be. I will always stay true to I'm a businesswoman. You know, I build businesses. I love food, you know, and my goal is eventually to build my Jenny Lam network so that it's not just about inspiring people in the food space, but it's eventually, I'd love to continue to do these talks. And I have been for the last 10 years around the world, you know, doing conferences, coaching sessions, mentoring, and that's why I go, with my Instagram, I don't want it to just be food, because that's just not everything I am. That's a part of my life, you know. So sometimes people might see things like, you know, like I'll purposely post things like when I go out for a run or a walk, when I'm listening to Mariah Carey in the car, okay, because that's me, that's who I am. You know, so you've got to know, guys, what's your desired outcome from your Instagram? What's the long goal? You know, where's your target market? Which leads to the next question. Who's your target audience? Like for me, my goal is to go global. You know, my goal is to be on the Forbes Rich List, 40 by 40. Yeah, make 100 million. That's not going to happen with just in Australia. And that's certainly not going to happen without going online. Because I need to be earning money when I sleep. I need people to be purchasing things, you know, every morning when I wake up. It's not just likes. I need it to be, you know, money coming through the websites, right? So if you're thinking about scaling your business, you really need to, one, get online, but you need to understand where's your target market and what do they like? You know, where do they hang out? and associate yourself with things that you know that target audience likes. So I know over here we're in health and well-being, we're into beauty, you know. So once you understand who your customers are, it's then about going to find out where do they hang out. You know, if you ever visit, maybe you want to go there now, guys. You know, to my company website. We did a survey, we did a branding survey for Generation Marketing, and we asked everyone who worked at Generation Marketing, if Generation Marketing was a shoe, what would we be? And everyone, majority, like 90% wrote Converses, right? And it was really interesting for us. Yeah, everyone wrote Converses. And then I thought about it, and we did a bit of digging and, you know, looking into the psychology behind it, and I just, well, let's actually do a survey. Who's ever owned a pair of Converses here, or still has one?
Owned a what?
Converses.
No.
Converses? Oh, you already have. Right. And interesting enough, you could be... Converse is one of those shoes where you can go from sleek and stylish, and it could still be the most comfy shoes that you wear out every single weekend for the last 10 years. You know? And we looked around at our company, and the youngest in our company is 18, the oldest is 55, and we come from, like, we're like the UN. The office is like the UN. We can literally do, like, the Olympics. And we started realizing it makes so much sense now, because it's diversity. You know, it's that comfortability. It's that, and it's, you got to know where your people are hanging out and what brands they associate themselves with and what they like. Yeah, and then so what I did was I rebranded the whole company, and we just had everything, we use terms like All-Stars. You know, we don't just go, this is the GMG team, this is welcome to the GMG All-Stars. You know, as many references as we could make to the things that people like, the target audience, the better. So think about that when you're posting things, guys. You know, if your audience is in mechanics, or whether it be the beauty industry, you know, it might be the Kardashians, who knows, okay? But think about, because if you know that all those ladies, let's say, like the Kardashians as well, sometimes a simple image, all right, as with whatever associated with your branding or your products, all of a sudden gets them to stop. You know, so think about that as well. Next thing, choose your platforms. So we were talking about this. Your target audience will then also tell you where the best place to be is. Okay, don't, because there's obviously the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and they're the main ones, guys. There's so much more, you know, in that sense. You've got to understand where your age groups are, and therefore what is best suited for your business purpose. Like Facebook just has a more wider range of age groups. Okay, Instagram is traditionally from the ages of 17, okay, 17 through to 24. Snapchat is like all your 15-year-olds through to about 20, 24 as well. You know, and there's a lot of older entrepreneurs now going, well, they're the future. If I want to be in business for the next 50 years, I actually need to start getting on there. You know, if you guys know Gary Vaynerchuk, he's on Snapchat daily. He has like 20 snaps, but he's doing that. It's very smart, because he goes, well, the population's an aging population, right? So if I don't start advertising to them now, where's my business going to be in 50 years? You know, so, and whenever you do something, guys, just do it well. You know, you're better off having one, but doing it really well, than having 5 that are all average. Yeah, because nothing is captivating. Like, it doesn't bring any value back to you. It's like, because if you're someone who's just there, you got to understand that there's also 40,000 small businesses also there. You know, and if you're not going to climb above the rest, there's no point being there. Okay, so for me, I actively, to be honest, these days it's just Instagram for me. You know, Facebook, I'm there. I post once a week on Facebook, but Instagram, I try to post something on my story every single day. Yeah, okay. Choose your platforms. Some tools and resources for you guys to help with this. We'll get everyone to download this app now, guys. Look for Facetune. Facetune. If you are planning on getting on Instagram or even on Facebook, guys, remember, because it's so competitive at the moment with 40,000 small businesses on there alone, let alone all the personal pages, who does this? You know that? Yeah? Why do we do it?
Boring.
It's boring, too much, not seeing what you want to see, not captivating. Yeah, nothing stands out. Great. Okay, Facetune is an app that will help you stand out. It's actually a filtering and photo editing app.
So is it Facetune 2 Selfie 1 or Facetune?
It's the one that has a circle around it that starts off with a kind of red tone and goes into that blue. Yeah, and it's just great to have, guys. And this is an example of one app, but you can do things like actually turn your iPhone picture to make it look like it came from a Canon, like a professional photo. Yeah, so whether it be headshots, because let's be honest, not everyone has the funds to go out and buy a $3,000 camera, or maybe you won't use it that much. But these days, there's so many great apps out there that allow you to edit your photos to make things look more professional, that you probably don't even need that. Most online fashion bloggers or any type of blogger, travel bloggers, if they don't have their own camera, it's actually their iPhone or their Samsung, whatever it is, but with an app to actually edit the photos. Okay, so I find Facetune pretty cool. If you're doing a lot of traveling shots, moving shots, that's great. I would also write down it as an action point, guys, to get good at learning how to use filters. I work in social media, and we talk to all clients all the time about, you're in seafood, for example, you can't have a fish looking grey. And the crazy thing is the fish is super fresh, but because they don't understand lighting, angles, things like that, you've actually you're not presenting yourself the best that you can online. It looks like the fish is really, really not fresh, but it is. It's just because of the bad camera angles. Yeah. So before you post anything, guys, and we'll get to content, okay, you got to make sure that it looks good. It's captivating. Because remember this, yeah, you got to think about what would make you stop. And if you wouldn't stop for the photo, do not post it. Don't post anything for the sake of posting. Yeah, you're going to get something called viewer fatigue. Karen Ray. Yeah, look him up. He's got a great story, a really great story. Once again, a self-made entrepreneur as well, so very cool. And obviously Gary Vaynerchuk, he's fantastic. And what I love about Gary is that you can see Gary's whole social media journey from day one. So he started working with his father in the wine industry, and and you see him when he started on YouTube, his first ever YouTube video, and it's terrible. And he leaves it on there, and you can see the transition that he's gone from where he started. So, for everyone in this room, hopefully, go look him up and look at his very first ever online presence. It's shocking. But hats off to him because he got started, and now he was rated the #1 social media most looked up person globally. Yeah, and so you can definitely check him out. Okay, the first word is what. Okay, and the last word is them. Would anybody like to take a guess? Anybody good with hangman? What is in it for them? Yes, spot on. What is in it for them? Okay, great. Now you've set up your page, guys. You've set up Facebook. You've set up Instagram. What is in it for them? Whenever you post something online, okay, don't post it from your perspective. I see people do this. They'll post a photo of, them and their dog. Oh, me and Harley going for a walk. Here's me putting my shoes on. Oh my gosh. And you got to always think about, right, there's too much going on out there. Like, I'm sorry, like, yay to your shoes, but what do I get out of it? Like, what do I get out of it? And like in all honesty, guys, like on my Instagram, right, on my stories is used to keep people up to date with what I'm doing. Yeah, so they can see me, what I'm getting up to. My my Instagram feed though is all about adding value. Yeah, I've got to understand that all these people that follow me, they follow me for a reason. And I thought about it, right? You either follow me because you're inspired by the journey, you follow me maybe because you think, oh, she looks kind of cool, okay? Or you follow me because you love food, yeah? So unless I hit those criteria, I'm not going to bother posting. Yeah, and I always check in with my posts. If you guys have had a business page for a while, go back through and stalk yourself. Have a look at the pages that get the most amount of engagement, most likes, most shares, most comments, and that's your audience going, I like this. That's what I want. The posters that get 1 like, 2 likes, well, the mark that you're looking for, guys, anything less than 1% of your followers, don't ever post that stuff again. Because you're just adding, you're filling up space, and it's a waste of space. Yeah, it's a waste of your time, okay? So whenever I'm posting something, so like I know I was speaking to Ian about accounting, okay? Think about what are your consumers' pain points. Like I was just saying to Ian, I'm looking for a new bookkeeper, right? But I hate numbers. Like I have to do it because I'm in business, but I absolutely hate it. Yeah, it's just not my thing if I could spend my time. So what's my pain point? What would speak to me if I was on Facebook and someone had an ad that was something like not great with numbers? let us take care of you. And there's a picture of a nice person that I trust, I'm there. That would captivate me, you know. How about like the interest rates, or whether it be, you know, you've got to think about who am I targeting and what are their pain points. If you're selling a product, what makes it better? You know, like when I go to get a facial, for example, I hate it when all the girls just talk and they never dim the lights for me. That's my pet hate, yeah? So if you wanted to captivate me, for example, if you showed me a nice room with a candle and it smells like coconut lime in there, like, I'm there. You know, there's someone lying down sleeping on the bed, like, that's going to get my attention. Yeah, so you got to be thinking about, guys, what's in it for them, what do they want to see, and that's what you should be posting. But a lot of people post inward rather than outward. Yeah, so before you post anything, ask that question. What is in it for them? And if the answer to that is nothing, do not post it. Okay? Do not post. Refrain yourself. Okay? Next thing. Emotive and visually captivating. Okay? And that's what we spoke about before, we're using the filters. Okay? You either need to have a good voice. Okay? If the photo is average, but the caption is funny, or the caption drives emotion, then it's good. Alright, if there is no caption but the photo is, you're engrossed in it, then great. Yeah, I want to get my phone, guys, and I'm going to give you some examples. Sorry, Trisha. It's my phone here, guys. Oh, I've lost my device. Did I leave it over there? Did I leave it on that table, guys? No? I thought so too, actually.
Oh, here it is on the menu.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, guys. Okay, cool. My mum always said if my head wasn't attached, I'd lose it. Okay, cool. All right, let's all go to Instagram. Let's go to Instagram. Okay, and I want to get you guys to search Ash, where is she? Okay, Ashley Stark. ASHLEYSTARK. Ashley Stark. Okay, just to make sure we're on the right page, guys. How many followers does she have?
Ashley Stark Kenner.
48.
Yes.
486.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So Ashley Stark Kenner, okay, she's got 486,000 followers. Okay, home and garden website, creative director at Stark Carpet, and etc. etc. Okay, cool. So have a look at her feed, right? So it should come on like tiles, guys. But if you actually click on one of the images and start having a look, if you're into interior design, she meets the brief. What's in it for me? Every single one of her images, right, offers value. And I continuously follow her because she's consistent. Yeah? And obviously, and you got to think about for your industry or whatever page you're building, can you see how she obviously writes a little bit, but she doesn't even need to write anything. Because every time she posts a picture for me in interior design, like that one there transports me somewhere. I look at that courtyard and I go, oh, that's stunning. Yeah, I look at like a closet like that, and I go, I wish I had that closet. You know, so depending on what your industry is, right? So she's obviously someone who wants to be valued as an expert in interior design, and I think her page delivers that. It hit home, and that's what I mean. Yes.
Is that all her?
No, she curates it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So she obviously, and this is a lot of time and effort to do this, guys, you know, to actually be able to find all these different images and to be able to curate it. But I guarantee, you know, not all of it is her work. It's actually other, you know, artists around in interior. But because there's never anything that she posts that's off-brand. You know, so I look forward to her posting. This question comes up a lot in a lot of these sessions is, oh, but I heard that if you post every day, you annoy people. Okay? You only annoy people if you post things that there's no relevance for them. Remember that first question, what's in it for them? If I like someone or something, I like to see 4 or 5 times a day. I don't mind. I'm like, oh, there she is again. Oh, great. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Same with food places, right? If I really like a restaurant, I want to know what specials are going on when things are on sale. Yeah, like my favorite probably shoe brand is Tony Bianco, and part of that, like they email me every day. It's dangerous, all right? But I don't mind because I buy their shoes anyway. You know, I'm a client. You know, so the only reason why people would get annoyed, guys, is if you're offering things that aren't of any value. Okay, all right. Okay, visually captivating, emotive. I was actually on Somehow she came up on my feed. Does everyone remember Buffy? Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Okay, all right, let's go to Sarah Michelle Gellar's page. We'll go to Sarah. It's Sarah M. Geller. Okay, Sarah, S-A-R-A-H, M. Geller. Okay, now her page is completely different. You know, she's got 2 million followers, and obviously most people I'd say follow her because she's a celebrity, right? But what I loved was all her quote posts. You know, and she's completely left the acting world now. She's now an entrepreneur as well. She actually has a food brand. It's called Food Stirs Cookbook. She's in supermarkets, and she's doing all these things, right? But if you guys go to that coffee quote, all right, I don't have a problem with caffeine. I have a problem without caffeine. But see what happened in that room just then? Everyone kind of laughed. Everyone's like, oh, I can relate to that on so many levels, right? That's how I felt when I was going through her feed. It made me giggle, right? So if you guys want to captivate your audience, and this is what I mean by emotive, yeah, if you have something that is cool, that catches my attention, I all of a sudden want to actually stay longer on your page now. Yeah, so if you're not if you don't like being in front of the camera, guys, or if you think you're not attractive, okay, there's another way you can get around it. It's rather than actually maybe putting images up that are stunning, you can actually use emotion instead. If you go further down, she's got great stuff in terms of her quotes. This one here, so if you see this one a bit further down, we get so worried about being pretty. Let's be pretty kind, pretty funny, pretty smart, and pretty strong. Yeah? And then she keeps going. Underneath she wrote, I love this. What other pretty should we be? Pretty tolerant, pretty thoughtful, pretty caring, pretty happy. And for someone who I class myself as a young businesswoman or someone who believes in women empowerment, you know, and just and self-esteem and trying to promote that, I go, that's brilliant. In one post, she was able to send out to the whole world and all her 2 million followers what she values and her stance on how people should be, and stripping back, you know, being superficial. And she did that literally in seconds with one post. And that's the power of social media, guys, is that people can get to know you really well quickly. Yeah, you can look at social media as a negative. Oh, but if I'm on there, people might leave me a negative review. And that's so backwards for me. This is the best opportunity right now, because before, in order for people to trust you, they had to look you up on yellow pages, they had to then call you, then they had to go in there. Like every negotiation would probably take, or to get a client on board, used to take 4 or 5 touch points. These days, people can check your page out. If they like the look and sound of you, they call up and they do business. And I'll get to that a bit later on, how you know, social media has really helped me as well build my business, guys. Yeah. Next thing, be consistent with frequency. Okay, all of us have different lifestyles. Some of us might be, you know, have 4 kids, grandkids, you know, I was gonna say 2 wives, that's a bit weird. Double life. you might be secretly like Tom Cruise and, you know, fighting crime at night. I don't know, you might be Batman in here, all right? But we all have different lifestyles, and some of us can't commit to maybe posting every single day, okay? But it is a limiting belief, and you are selling yourself short and selling yourself an excuse if you're saying that I'm too busy to be on social media. Well, then you might as well shut your business down now, because it'll be shut in about 10 years anyway if you think backwards like that. Yeah? You have 168 hours every single week. Okay? Whatever you choose to commit to, but just commit to that. It doesn't matter if you're committing to once a week, as long as you're consistent. Yeah, as long as you post once a week, and you might set an alarm on your phone. Every Tuesday, you post something on a Tuesday. Every Friday, that's the day you do your post. Then as you start to get better and better at it, you might go, okay, I want to up it to 2 a week, 3 a week. But whatever it is that you do, be consistent at it. There's nothing worse than you post 6 one week, your fans fall in love with you, and then you don't post again for 6 months. Yeah, you're all good when you're here in Australia, then you go on holiday, you're away in Bali, and no one hears from you. Yeah, because remember, guys, people, that's how people think. They go, how you do things one way is how you do everything else. You know, like my godmum, I spent a lot of time with her, and I've been working with her since I was 15, and it's so weird. It's like osmosis. You guys know what osmosis is? Like, you know, yeah, when something, it just permeates through the walls. I started noticing that I started becoming more and more like her without her saying anything. Like, I wash my dishes the same way she does. Like, and I used to wash it differently. I even dry my dishes the way she dries it. She started using paper towels, so I started using paper towel. Like, and you'll just find, guys, that the more ways you do something, it just starts passing on to other people, and it's vice versa as well. Yeah, in the sense of if you're inconsistent with posting, your fans, your customers will start going, I wonder what else she's inconsistent at. I wonder what else he's inconsistent at. If you can't even stick to that, how are you going to deliver my products on time? Yeah, people start judging your services. Last thing, guys, is what's your niche? I had an amazing opportunity to meet Miguel. Has anybody watched Food Network? Miguel's Kitchen? Miguel yeah, he's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Such and you know his enthusiasm when you watch him. But when I got to actually network with him and spend some time chatting to him, he was just. That's one of the things he asked me. He goes, "What's your niche? Where do you want to be in 10 years?" He goes, "I'm where I am today. I'm in supermarkets because I always knew this is where I was going to end up. That's my goal." You know? And he goes, "I just walked into Woolworths and I never saw any Spanish products. There was never any chorizo in boxes or any of that. You know, you could see Chinese, you know, all these make yourself home meals, like Canton, for example, but there was no Spanish food." He goes, "I knew that was what I was going to get into." Yeah? So don't try to do, guys, too many things at once. You know, like, I'm sure you've seen this. If I walk into a restaurant and they sell Italian, Chinese, and Japanese, you've just lost me. I go, it's impossible. You can't be great at all three. One of them you're probably really good at, and the other two you're average at. Yeah, so decide what your niche is and stick to that, because it will allow you to actually have more synergy, and it means that all your time is directed at one thing rather than trying to spin so many plates. Yeah, cool. Number 3. Okay, so now we've got started. We're posting. Okay, respond and interact is the next thing to drive your social media to get value out of it. Okay, so for anybody who's looking to get customers, you know, do sales through your online platforms, this is so important. Okay, the first 15 minutes is everything. When you post something, guys, whether it be on Facebook or on Instagram, it's crazy to me. You know, sometimes I post something, right, and because you know, there's now people who follow me around the world, like, it's weird. Like, I literally hit send and there's already a notification that I have a like. I'm like, how are you even seeing this? I literally just posted this like a second ago, right? And within the first 15 minutes, guys, the amount of interaction that you get will then let Instagram or Facebook go, do we want to show you to the rest of the world? Okay, I'll show you what I mean. If you guys go into, okay, if you go into, so on your Instagram, can you see the little magnifying glass? Click the magnifying glass. Okay, this is what's called your explore page. Have you ever thought about why do you see what you see? No? Okay. You see what you see because that's based on everything that you've been looking at. And you can see that there's subheadings at the top. For you, style, food, TV and movies, travel, miscellaneous. Okay. There's algorithms that run behind Instagram and Facebook. And what you see on here and what they curate for you to see is based on what the interactions, what you'd like, share, comment on. Okay. And do you reckon it'd help your business if more people, if your page landed on these pages? Of course it would, right? The only way to land yourself on these pages, guys, is you become more popular. Yeah, and popularity online is all about likes, comments, and shares. Yeah, so please don't do this where you post something and you disappear. If you're going to commit to posting something, just hang around, guys, for 15 minutes on there. Yeah, and there's nothing worse. Well, you guys, like, if someone, let's say you do a post, right, and someone comments back with a question, are you guys open this Friday? And no one answers that. How would you feel?
It's hard.
Yeah, would you work with that business anymore?
No.
If that business responded to you the next day, how do you feel about that business?
But you're not worth it.
Yeah, well, you obviously didn't value me very much. Like, and the way the online world, guys, is for me, it's like reality. You know what I mean? All good. So, like, for me, if someone leaves me a comment on my online store, on my business page, and I don't answer it, it's like someone walking into my shop, asking me a question, I just stared at them and walked off. It's the same. You got to understand that. So make sure that all your pages, guys, get liked, comments, and shares, and all your fans and anybody who answers you a question get responded back to. And the first 15 minutes is important. That's how the algorithms work. Yeah, Facebook is the same. I'm in social media marketing, and I was showing clients. They're like, no, we don't need it. Okay, let me show you the power of Facebook. Okay, all right. When you go onto Facebook, right, guys? Probably where was I standing? I was in a cafe. All right, I'm in a cafe in West Perth. All right, and he goes, I don't need social media. I go, let me show you what you're missing out on. Okay, let's say I'm a tourist. I don't know West Perth. So I type in cafes near me. Yeah, because every single device has location services, right? And I said, how interesting is this, Brad? His name's Brad. All right, and I'm looking on it. And I go, you don't even come up. And I'm standing in your store in West Perth. Wow. In your store. And it's diverting me. Facebook is telling me to go 5 kilometres into Northbridge. The closest cafe to you is there. Is that the truth? No. But the reason why Facebook does that, funny enough, he doesn't post anything. He doesn't post anything, right? But the other cafe, they post every single day. So Facebook then sends me over there. Yeah, this is the power of being online right now, guys. Yeah, and this is all the business that you will miss out on if you're not active on there. Okay, remember there's 40,000 small businesses. Who actually runs anybody in retail here or hospitality? Okay, yeah, okay. So think about this, right? Well, at some point, maybe you guys can relate to this. If you're a regular, okay, at a coffee shop, or if you own a cafe and there's someone that comes in every single day of the year for the last 5 years, do you reckon you treat that person a little bit nicer, okay, than someone who comes in once every 6 months to your store? 100%. Not because you're not a nice person and you don't like the person that comes in once every 6 months, but you build a better relationship with the person that's in there every day. You know their name, you know their drink, you know where they sit, you know they like that newspaper, okay? Facebook is the same. Right, if you post every single day, Facebook goes this, oh, you're a regular. I'm going to show you off to the rest of the world. Why would I show off anybody who posts once every 6 months? Yeah, and you got to think about, guys, if you're not posting daily, you're already starting to kind of bump down. Yeah, and they do this cool thing. Instagram and Facebook both do it. They actually unlock different functions for people who have more followers, and you get different perks. Like on Instagram, for example, once you get over 10,000 followers, you can actually embed links into your post. Yeah, so you guys might have seen this before when you're on someone's Instagram story or post and it goes swipe up and goes straight to the website or the shop. Tap on the photo and it tells you like you can actually go straight into the online store. Yeah, so all these cool functions you won't get unless you become a regular on these platforms. Yeah, okay. Cool. Next thing, guys. Yeah. So the whole thing about it is get discovered, increase your fan base. Yeah. For simple numbers. If anybody who watches football here. Yeah, everyone. Okay, cool. Football. Okay, cool. If I have more attempts at the goalpost, I've got a higher chance of scoring. Agreed? Cool. Yeah, you'd like to think so. But even then, right? If I got a professional who had 10 shots and an amateur who had 1,000 shots, who's going to score more points? The amateur. Yeah. Okay, and so I use the same logic online, guys. If I have, there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either sell to 100 people, okay, at let's say $10 a piece, okay, or you can sell to 100,000 people and you sell them at 10 cents. Yeah, for me, I'm all about quantity over quantity. Just makes more sense to me. Yeah, because and you've seen that with Kylie Jenner, and everyone know who she is. It annoys me that she is now the youngest female self-made billionaire. Really annoys me because I don't believe in how she presents herself as a young woman. And, you know, and there's lots of women who look up to her, right? And yeah, I can go on for up to days, right? But I'll tell you what she did. She had millions of followers and she released a lipstick. She's not the freaking first woman to have a great lipstick, right? But why did she succeed over everyone else? Is because she leveraged her following. She has 50 million followers online. Yeah. So even if she made, you know, even if she made $1 off each kit, she's just made $50 million in a year. That's what she did. But she obviously had a bigger margin, and she's now worth almost close to $1 billion. She's 21 years old. Something ridiculous like that, right?
She's single?
No.
Life is looking for the...
She's now got a kid as well.
That's the right side.
But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, right? But you can see the model work right there. You know, if you have a big following, by the time you sell something or you have a product for them, even if 1% purchased or converted, you're doing pretty all right for yourself. Yeah. In business, it's all about who you know. Okay. New business partners are fingertips away. So I'm in the midst of writing my Vietnamese cookbook at the moment, and I was looking for a design person, so I decided to self-publish. I didn't want to go through a publisher. I'm a bit of a control freak, and it's my first creative project, and I really wanted to be in full control of how everything comes out, you know. So there's a lot more work, but I need a food stylist. You know, people talk about a food stylist, a creative director, a graphics designer, and you know, when people like you or follow you on Instagram, their logo comes up, right? And you can kind of always tell if a page is either a business page or a personal page, right? So for you guys as well, by the way, if you have like a personal Instagram account and it's something like what's something offensive? I hate women. Okay, because you thought it was funny once upon a time 10 years ago, okay? Cats over dogs, let's say that's your username. I would change that, okay? And it's like, you know, I'm in recruitment as well, and I remember I was calling someone who was going for a job interview, you know, at our company, and literally this was the voice message. Hello? Hey, haha, I got you, leave me a message or just piss off. Literally, that was their voicemail. And I just ripped up their resume. You know, like maybe you had that 3 years ago, but that, like, I don't want to deal with you. Your first impression was bad, you know. And coming back to the story, so I noticed it was called Fern and Dandy. You know, this logo, it says is now following you. Yeah. So if you guys, I'll tell you what I talk about. So go back onto your Instagram, and this will come up on Facebook as well. So we'll go back into Instagram. If you guys click on the love heart, can you see that? So it comes up, it tells you that all your notifications, you know, who likes you, who's now following you. And can you see how you can see the picture and then you see their name? So Fern and Dandy started following me. And I thought, oh, that looks like a business, you know. And I always check out all the businesses because I think, oh, maybe I can do a collaboration with them, you know. So I clicked onto hers, and I'll actually get you guys to look her up. So Fern and Dandy, F-E-R-N, and that's a logo there, that little light blue one, Fern and Dandy. Okay, and you can see there it says Linda Huyn, creative stylist, photographer, creative styling, product and food photography, flat lays, content creation, graphic designs. Say hello. Right, and I thought this must be fate, because I was looking for a design person, and you know what's the craziest part? She's Vietnamese. I said, what is the chances that I'm writing a Vietnamese cookbook and this design lady just started following me, and she's in, you know, food styling, creative graphics, photography, and I was like, this is it. This is a sign. So I clicked email and said, hi Linda, you know, I'm in the midst of writing my Vietnamese cookbook. You know, I noticed you started following me. You know, is there any chance we can have a meeting? And we've gone from there, right, guys, to now she's literally designing my cookbook. You know, if you actually go to my feed now, come back to mine. So type in Jenny Lam AU. Okay, yep, you can see my little MasterChef little apron. Okay, cool. All right, you don't have to follow me if you don't want to, guys. All right, but if you, where is she? There's a post that I did. Oh, yep, so she's just in the background there. So it's next to the fish one. Literally, so from the time I messaged her on Instagram going, hey, you know, maybe we can have a meeting to see if we can work together. A week from that meeting, she was at my house and we were test shooting recipes. You know, a week later, she quoted me, so I literally sat down with her and we just booked in our next 15 photo shoots from now until the end of the year. You know, and it's cool because she's also a starting entrepreneur as well. She works for a graphics, you know, she's a full-time graphics designer, but she's looking to build her own business. But you can see in that moment how both of us benefited and got business from online. I found her and she found me. But imagine if her profile, guys, was something like, I hate cats, and she had nothing else there. So if your bio, guys, is not updated, as in it doesn't really describe who you are, what you do, I would upgrade that right now. Like put it down as an action point that straight after this breakfast, you're going to change and update your profile there. Yeah. So if you guys scroll up to the back of mine, you can see that it says Jenny Lam, entrepreneur, MasterChef AU Season 10, spreading joy since 1989, founder of Generous Foods, Degas Asian Pop-Up Dining, and there's a link down there. And then underneath you can see email address and directions to find me. Yeah, like you just want to make sure, and you can change that all the time. Yeah, you can update it based on how your business is moving, but it should always be a true reflection of what you're doing, what you're offering, okay? Because you never know, guys, who you find. If you ever actually know the story of Uber, like the guy who got the funding for Uber, he literally posted on Twitter, hey, looking for an entrepreneur to back our project. And then another entrepreneur, I can't remember who it was, but he went, I'll fund you. And then that's how it happens, literally. You know, and like the internet is a powerful tool in space. Like you can connect with, like we talked about 6 degrees of separation this morning, Derek did. You know, Richard Branson. If you don't put anything out in the world, guys, you're never going to get anything back. You know, and whether it be looking for investors. Hey, looking for investors, you know, for XYZ. If the idea is a good idea, it's a good idea. Online is a real space. If you went to a party, like a networking function like this, for example, and you sat in a chair in the corner, do you reckon people would want to approach you? No, right? Do you reckon you get a lot of value out of that networking event? But that's what people do online. They just go online and they just view, and they're an observer. They grab a chair, they sit in the corner, and they just look. You know, and this is something I admit, guys, I had to retrain myself on. It's a real live space. So now I'm actually interacting with people that I like, that I want them to see me. You know, on YouTube's the same. If I really like a video and I got a lot of value out of it, I will comment and say something. Wow, that is such a cool, I love your recipe. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah, because you never know who you meet, guys. Yeah, and it's the same thing, right? I'm sure we've all done this before. Once upon a time, you were at a function, you met someone who later down the track either became a great friend, a partner, or in business with. Yes?
How many hours a week do you spend online?
I probably spend about, I reckon, a good 4 or 5 hours a day.
A day?
Yeah, a day. Yeah. It's my, but that's where I hang out now, though. That's my space, you know, because everything's free in here, right? Because I read books normally, right? And to buy a book or to go to Dimmicks is expensive. These days, Kindle, I can just download a book, you know? TV shows, I don't have to pay for it anymore. I can just watch it on YouTube. You can watch...
Sorry, I'll rephrase that question. When you're interacting online, writing a post, doing a marketing, promoting your business online, not... enjoying yourself?
It varies from day to day, but I'd probably say half an hour a day.
About half an hour?
Yeah, about half an hour.
So from a business point of view, it's half an hour a day?
Yeah, it doesn't take long to actually do any social media interaction. You just have to block it and do it.
Yeah, content calendar will help with that. Guys, it can take from 15 minutes to 2 hours because it depends if you had an idea of what you're going to post. Because remember, what's in it for them? If you know exactly what you're going to post, it's really easy. It takes 15 minutes, right? But if you have this, because this is what people do. They go, I need to do an online post. What can I post there? They walk around their business. They start pacing. Should I take a photo of the candle? Oh, should I take a photo of that client? And then before you know it, you get distracted and you're there for 2 hours trying to do this post. And that's why people lose their attitude and they just don't do it anymore. So if anything, I would block out a day and go, cool, what am I posting every single day this week? Am I delegating or am I doing myself? Map it out, and then that way it's just doing. The reason why it takes long is because they're trying to find inspiration. And that's why it takes a long time. But yeah, half an hour, not long. Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Posting personal stuff, as in the Jenny Lam stuff? Are you posting stuff on your business generation marketing?
I am, because that's my brand that I'm working on at the moment. You know what I mean? So generation marketing just runs in the background now. So I have staff that look after generation marketing, and then for the Jenny Lam, I do that myself. So it comes back down to, guys, what's your niche and what are you trying to drive? Yeah. So for me right now, it's getting Jenny Lam and Generous Foods up and running. So all my time on social media is spent there. Yeah. So if you've like me and you've got a couple projects going on, you've just got to decide where you're going to spend your time and what you're going to do in that space. Yeah. And what you decide to curate, because please don't look at my page, guys, and go, oh, but she shares so much personal things on there, I wouldn't be able to do that. You don't have to. That's because I choose to. That's because I am trying to build the Jenny Lam brand. You know, I eventually want to be someone that can do this full time. I travel around talking and inspiring people and sharing my life stories with people. Yeah, so that's why I choose to share my personal life as well. You might not want to do that, but that's because all you want to do is maybe in the finance world or property. So that's all you show. You know, but yeah, your niche and what you want to sell. Yes?
Would you say that you share personal stuff because you want to have relatability to the people that you're trying to connect with?
Yeah, that as well. Well, that's, it comes back down to what your brand values are, yeah? And for me, it's all about, cooking can be fun. It's something that I enjoy, it's my passion. So I think if you didn't see me, you wouldn't understand that. You would just think it's about the plate, and it's not about that. Like for me, it's not, like you'll see certain chefs will post nothing else except photos maybe of the dishes that they create. And because their full focus is have a look at the ingredients, have a look at the produce, have a look at how I plate this up, the skill set, right? That's their niche, right? Whereas mine is about, I want to inspire people my age to go, hey, you can cook for yourself. And it can be fun. It doesn't have to be something that's so difficult to do. You know, I have so many friends in my age group that honestly, they, like making mee goreng is as far as their cooking skills go. You know, and this whole thing, it's too expensive, it's too time consuming, it falls into the too hard basket. You know, and I want to show people that it's not. Yeah. Cool. Great questions, guys. I love questions. Okay. Yeah, cool. Comment, like, share. And you never know who, everyone's looking, guys. Everyone's looking. Everything you do online is transparent. And so you never know who you're going to meet online. And all it takes is for one person and it to be the right person, and your business takes a whole new direction. So put yourself out there, okay? Number 4, guys, Rome wasn't built in a day. A bit of a classic. There's a little mountain there as well. You know, and I put the mountain there for me symbolically. You know, the view is always better from the top, but it takes time to climb to the top. There's a lot of blood, sweat, tears, grazes on the knees, whinging, moaning, times where you want to give up. You sit down on the side of the, I hike, you know, so trust me, I've had some freaking, I'm like, maybe I should go down now. I was like, no, keep going. There's going to be a lot of obstacles, challenges, moments of uncomfortability, but embrace them, because every obstacle that you knock down, it can only make you better, you know, yeah, it's crazy to think. I'm so proud to be able to say that I own 5 businesses and I'm building 5 businesses, you know, right now. And I remember it wasn't that long ago. I think it was last year that I was in Asia networking, and I met he's one of the princes of Malaysia, and he was telling me about how he has 42 businesses right now. I said, that is insane. Right, I love spending time with him, such an entrepreneur. And he goes, but don't worry, Jenny, it didn't start out that way. He goes, I think it was 1998 he was talking about. He goes, a few years after that, honestly, we were shutting down businesses. You know, and he goes, I guarantee not all 42 are profitable right now. But you'll get to that point where, you know, you just get better. You know, where at a certain point you'll only be able to handle 1, but before you know it, you've got good people around you, and 2 and 3 just happen. Like honestly, guys, 5 businesses happen organically. I did not plan that. Wholeheartedly. And I had a sense of overwhelm like about a week ago, like maybe a few days ago. Like I literally felt like stressed. And I was like, why do I feel this way? You know, it's been a while since this feeling has landed, you know, and then I had to take a moment and go, where do you have your feet and hands in right now? You know what I mean? And because I started feeling unproductive, and I was like, crap, no wonder why you feel this way. You got 5 businesses on the go right now. You know what I mean? And I had to sit down with myself and go, can you pull this off, Jenny? You know, I sat there and I looked at all 5 and I go, are you going to actually cut a few and just focus on a few, or are you going to really make this work? But I think in that moment when I went, wow, well, I obviously started it, and all of them are actually moving in the right direction. So then there was a question of, okay, are you happy that all of these will take you a bit of time to develop? Okay, or do you want to just, like, you know, park 3, focus on 2, and you know, have those do really well short term, like quickly, you know? But I was kind of, you know, chuffed with myself that I was like, you didn't even plan this, and you're here. But if you go back probably 10 years ago, guys, I could barely manage 1 business. Barely. You know, now we've got businesses that are profitable like 10 years down the track. That is 5 that happened like by itself, really. You know, I engineered it, but I didn't really plan on it, if that makes sense. It's all just coming together. So you might be terrible right now with social media. Maybe you don't even know what a hashtag is. What is she talking about? Okay? But you will get better. I was, like, you know, I didn't even create my own Facebook page. True story. Do you guys remember, like, MySpace? Like, I was anti-internet. I was like, I hate this. I just got used to Friendster. What the heck is MySpace? What do you mean I have to put a song to it? You know? And then I finally built myself a MySpace page, and my friend's like, Jenny, that went out like 2 months ago. Everyone's on Facebook. I'm like, what the heck is Facebook? I'm like, you're kidding me. I just got used to this. And then I refused. and her name's Leah. She actually created me. She goes, I made you a Facebook page. You have to be there. We're all there. And I was like, and then they're tagging me in things, and you know, and Instagram. I only got on Instagram last year. You know, these days now I'm on it every single day, and that's where I traffic, right? But you just learn it as you go, guys. You're never going to be good unless you start. And no matter how terrible, and you can look at my original post and see how bad I was when I first started, but you can see it getting better and better as I go along. You know, you can even see the interaction. You know, I went from having less than 1%, and there's an app my sister gave me that you can actually see interaction. I've got about 20% interaction right now with my audience. You know, so just get started and be patient. You know, it will get there. It just needs time. Yeah. Last thing, guys, just to wrap up, I don't know how long I've been talking for. I might have gone over time. Keep learning. Keep up to date. Don't be a Nokia or a Kodak. Okay. Those businesses aren't around anymore. You know, and there was a time when Nokia was, everyone had a Nokia. Who had a Nokia 3310? Oh my gosh, those things were indestructible. I wish they still built them. Okay, I'd buy one. They were amazing. They were Snake. How good was Snake on Nokia? Hi, oh my gosh, right? But then they were there, and then they weren't there. They just couldn't keep up. When phones started becoming computers and your go-to, they just disappeared. Kodak, overnight, went from being the most used, the only photography company, cameras, you know, printing, and then woof, they were gone. Everyone got cameras on their phones. Video easy, Blockbuster. Their whole business model got wiped out, right, because they didn't think ahead and stay up to date. Yeah, guys, and the way the world is trending, it's only going to get more and more virtual and more digital. So if you're not there now, you're gonna fall behind. Yeah, so that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Amazing value there. Someone who certainly knows their space, Jenny Lam. And you know, the unique thing about this is when you start living in your life purpose, when you start walking in it, then these techniques kind of help to get you to that point where you're finding true fulfillment in what it is you set your hand to do. Well, if you'd like more information and education like this, you can head over to our website, blueskyfactory.com.au, and you can learn stuff like business and also trading. And what I also want to say is this: subscribe to this YouTube channel or on Facebook, like us, all the social media outlets that we're on there, and of course spread the word. We want to get this information out to as many people as possible. All right, till next time, remember, live your life purpose.